Hello, this is Dr. Sudarshan, psychiatrist. I'm bringing to you the latest in the series of psychoeducative videos which are aimed at raising awareness about mental health issues amongst the general public and also to explain some of the therapies, treatment procedures in the common man's terms. Now, today's topic is something which is very close to the hearts of many viewers. It is animal assisted therapy. Now, first we have to differentiate the difference between animal assisted therapy and animal assisted activities. Though many of the benefits overlap. Animal assisted activities, like you see, you have all heard about the dogs, the Saint Bernard dogs walking their blind masters across the street. And they also fetch groceries and otherwise, and even dolphins can be trained and they aid in human movement in certain cases, and also communication, the different challenge, the differently abled human beings. So that is animal assisted activity which actually help human beings who are differently able to lead life as close to normal as possible. Now, animal assisted therapy is what we are going to discuss today about. Now, you are all perhaps aware that animal assisted, when you have animals, when you keep pets in your house, whether it's a dog, a cat, or if you actually have horses in your stable otherwise, and even dolphins, if you have trained dolphins, and then the fishes are there, rabbits are there. Of these, except the fishes, the rabbits, the cats, the dogs and the dolphins, they can be suitably trained. And yes, these pets, these animals actually help in improving your mental health. These animals, the presence of animal in your house, or even if you are looking after, say, street dogs or cats, they actually improve the mental health of the persons who are looking after them. A sense of achievement, a sense of satisfaction, and of course the feedback they receive from the animals, the positive vibes, the wagging of the tails, the licking, etc. It does help in improving the mental health. It also helps in augmentation of the cognitive, the physical and the social and emotional well-being of the persons who are looking after the animals. So as I said, the augmentation of the cognitive, the physical, the social and the mental well-being. It has been seen, it has been proved time and again that keeping pets actually decreases anxiety and panic attacks to a very great extent. And of course, animals, the presence of animals do decrease depression to a significant extent. Now, as in animal assisted therapy, you have seen that the anxiety decreases, because you see, dealing with the animals actually gives you a sense of comfort. It's the animal immediately enters into your comfort zone and makes you calm. I mean, if for example you are agitated, because of some happy incident, or maybe you are agitated because of some something which you are disliking very much. So the animal, actually, you've seen the animal, the dog, as an example, if I can use the dogs as an example, they understand that you are agitated about something. Now, it cannot differentiate whether you are agitated, excited about something bad or something good, but they definitely come to you, they wag their tails, maybe they do some licking also, and this calms you down. So it helps decrease anxiety to a fair degree. And obviously, this translates to some other benefits also, some somatic benefits. For example, your blood pressure. If it increases because of this agitation, it decreases because of the presence of the pets and the activity of the pets. And also, you see, if you are taking your pet out for a walk, then you are actually doing certain physical exercises also. Even persons who are very old, I mean, if they take their pets out for a walk, they basically are performing certain physical activity which otherwise they are not motivated to do. So this also actually helps in uplifting their mood and decreasing the anxiety, decreasing the panic attacks. For example, if you are feeling very much panicky, then if you just go to your pet and if there's a pet nearby, whether it's a street dog or a cat, and you just just fondle the creature of biscuits or otherwise, so you see, immediately it has a very soothing effect. It has a very soothing effect. It acts as a sort of mental balm. It also releases the endorphin, which calms you down. Okay, and animals actually they teach us to be emphatic, to be compassionate. For example, if an animal is while during Diwali bursting of crackers, and otherwise if an animal is very much cowered down and panicky, so you can understand the the misery of the animal, and you go and comfort him or her, whether it's a domestic pet or whether it's a pet who is living outside on the pavement. And what happens is that this actually helps you realize the situation, the misery of another living being, and this translates to when a human being falls in trouble. I mean, if you show compassion to your pet, or even to the street dogs or otherwise the cats, so you inculcate the habit of empathizing with human beings also when they are falling in trouble, and obviously you are compassionate. The presence of animals also helps us to increase the efficiency of mindfulness. That's an activity where actually you accept the situation as it is. You let it enter your mind without resisting it, and then you feel it and then you allow it to pass. So that is mindfulness, derived from ancient Zen principles, and yoga performs has the similar effects as far as the Indian perspective is concerned. I mean, those who are habituated with yoga or those who are habituated with mindfulness, they can practice either of them, and both are very helpful. Now, efficiency of mindfulness is it increases because of the presence of the pets, because actually it makes your mind more receptive to any sort of even unpleasantry, because the dog or the cat actually acts as a balancing factor, and increases the threshold for panic otherwise, and calms you down actually. So this increases the efficiency of the mindfulness. It reduces your stress to a fair extent. The stress is decreased because your mind is immediately diverted into activity of looking after the pets. Now, as far as animals are concerned, they make you laugh, and that laughter also releases endorphin, and that also acts as a very good painkiller. It's a natural painkiller produced by the body. Now, presence of animals also helps in us clearly communicating with other human beings, because you're communicating with the animal. The animal cannot reciprocate in the same language, but then to make the animal understand, you try and explain in very clear, unambiguous terms, so that the animal can understand whether it's a dog or it's a cat, it's a horse, dolphin or otherwise. And what happens is that this translates to better communication skills when you are dealing with another human being or making him or her understand. Okay. Now, your feeling of helplessness, worthlessness, which leads to self-harming behavior, suicide and all, this actually significantly reduce when you are dealing with an animal. When you're dealing with an animal, your feeling of helplessness and worthlessness, they decrease to a very fair extent, and can actually prevent the loss of a life. And you see, animals are supposed to obey your commands unconditionally. They do not place any condition for you to when you are issuing a command. They follow it. They follow it. Now, this gives you a sense of control over the self and the surrounding environment. Okay, the sense and the surrounding environment. And when you are dealing with an animal who is differently abled, loss of leg or loss of one eye, so that's an imperfection in the animal, and you are dealing with the imperfection in the animal, and you are accepting it also. So this actually helps you accept the imperfection in human beings also, and that actually translates to increase in tolerance of fellow human beings even when they are imperfect. As I've said earlier also, when you are dealing with the misery of a pet, an animal, as I said that when there is bursting of crackers and etc., the pets feel terrified and all that. So you are actually empathizing. You are empathizing with the misery of the pet, and you are comforting the pet accordingly. Now this actually builds up your, the character of empathizing with fellow human beings also, to basically understand their problems from their point of view. Now we get into arguments without realizing that the other person may have a story also for which he or she is behaving this way, and the same the vice versa. So over here you actually empathize with the pet. You understand that yes, there is a story, the bursting of the crackers, that's why he is feeling jittery or feeling uneasy. So similar, this inculcates the habit of empathizing with fellow human beings also. Now, talked about laughter, the release of the endorphin. Now, you see, animal acts as a bridge. The pets, they act as a bridge between the therapist, the mental health professional, and the patients, especially when the patients are non-cooperative, or say they are withdrawn or incommunicado. So these pets actually acts as a bridge, help to break the ice, and you can actually get to know or to communicate with your hitherto incommunicado or withdrawn or non-cooperative patient to cooperate or communicate in a better way. Now, patients with pets can actually migrate between grief and to happiness. Now, one of the major differences between grief and depression is that in grief actually you can actually go back to happiness. There is a mobility of the mood from sadness to happiness. Okay, over here also the pets actually help a patient migrate from grief, feeling of sadness, to that of happiness. So it actually prevents the grief from turning into depression. In depression, basically, this mobility is compromised of the mood shifting from sadness to happiness is compromised to very fair degree. So animals actually help you migrate and actually may prevent the grief from turning into depression. Now, when you are dealing with the animal treatment or otherwise care with animal, you are concentrating very much. So this actually animal keeping pets or looking after the street dogs or cats otherwise actually helps in improving the concentration. Okay, actually helps in improving the concentration. And as you know that dogs actually their societal structure deals with dominance and subordinance. Okay, and animals actually provide unconditional acceptance. Okay, obeys all commands, as I said earlier. So you see, this acceptance actually, you know, this actually helps you. This actually helps you to, you know, to actually communicate in a much better way. And you see, the unconditional acceptance, the feeling of being loved by an animal for what you are, it it decreases a plethora of mental health problems like depression and anxiety, as already discussed to a very fair extent. Now, the relationship development between a person and a animal actually makes us learn or say fine tune the relationship development exercises with another fellow human beings. Okay, the trust, the respect, and this actually increases when you are dealing with animals. As I said, the dogs help in clearing the communication, the relationship of trust, the relationship of based on respect and termination also. Basically, they actually teach us in while communicating with them. Now, we learn to respect, we learn to be more considerate, because when we are actually dealing with the pets, we automatically empathize with their perspective and behave accordingly. Now, this also helps us inculcate the behavior of understanding the perspective of another human being and proceed accordingly. Delayed gratification is another thing that the pets teach us. So instant gratification, which is sort of harmful to us also, basically. So our need for instant gratification decreases, and we get habituated with delayed gratification, which actually helps us to lead a less stressful life. Now, we actually from pets, another thing which we learn, and which I'll end my video today, is consequences. We learn to deal with the consequences in a non-threatening manner. Okay, this also the pets teach us that we deal with the consequences. To deal with the consequences in a non-threatening manner, pet cannot understand. We make him or her understand, and obviously at that time our communication skills are very much fine-tuned, and we do not get aggressive, we do not threaten, and we make the pet understand. So while dealing with human beings, this point also helps us, and it leads to less conflict, to less stress. So the first part of the video, which deals with this animal assisted therapy, has been just presented to you. If you like it, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and do share my videos to help me raise awareness on mental health issues. Do visit my Facebook page, Dr. Sudarshan Sharma, and put in your likes and comments. So till the next video comes on, it's here my end. Thank you.